Greetings, soap fans. Grab a massive pot of coffee because we have a ton of ground to cover today, and I am running on pure caffeine and deadline panic. And let me just start by saying that the soap opera world is a crazy place right now because you never really know who is safe anymore. Ratings are always fluctuating, networks are always looking for the next big shock factor. And sometimes that means killing off a character that you never thought would leave. But when we talk about the bold and the beautiful, there are two names that always come up in the untouchable category: John McCook and Catherine Kelly Lang, Eric Forrester and Brooke Logan. The pillars of the show, the legacy characters who have been there since the very first episode in 1987. So the show just recently celebrated its 39th anniversary. 39 years. That is a massive milestone. And it really gets you thinking about the longevity of these actors and these characters because fans love them. It is honestly hard to even imagine the show without them. But the rumors are always there. The spoilers tease that not even legacy characters are protected from falling victim to a serial killer or some out of the blue demise, just if it suits the storyline or if it grabs some ratings, which is a terrifying thought for longtime viewers. But let us talk about Eric for a second, because in recent times, his health issues made it seem like he actually might be written off. And I am not going to lie, I was sweating. We all were. The coughing up blood, the collapsing, the whole family gathering around his hospital bed, crying their eyes out. It felt so final. It really looked like the end of an era, and we are so glad that it hasn't been the case. Finn pulled off that miracle cure, and Eric bounced back. And McCook even noted recently that they have tried killing him off a couple of times in the late 5 years. He literally said it just doesn't work. The man is invincible. He just keeps coming back. And we love that for him. But what about Catherine Kelly Lang? What about Brooke? She plays a legacy character who is arguably the most famous face of the entire franchise. She has been involved in pivotal plots since her debut. And the character is as controversial as she is beloved. You either love Brooke or you absolutely hate her. There is no middle ground. But is she untouchable? Could the writers actually cross that line and kill off Brooke Logan? Well, Lang actually spoke about this possibility recently. She was doing an interview with Us Weekly during a BBTV streaming app launch event. And of course, the question came up: keep reading to discover what she had to say about Brooke's possible departure, because it is pretty telling. Lang said, and I quote, "I never ever think they're going to kill me off. I just don't think that would happen. But it could. You never know." And wow, that is a relief to hear her say that, but also that little caveat at the end. That you never know. It just shows the reality of the daytime television business. Nobody is ever 100% safe, but let us be real here. While Brooke is a lightning rod character, she should remain on the show, if only for continuity's sake. She is the glue that holds so much of the history together, even if that glue is messy and chaotic and constantly causing disasters. Brooke is a firestorm. Lang's opinion should be taken as fact in my book, because there is absolutely no reason to kill off a character who has done the things Brooke has done. And let me just dump some of this history on you because it is wild when you really think about it. She has bedded an entire family of men, an entire family. She married Eric, then she married Ridge, then she married Thorne. She literally worked her way through the Forrester men like it was a checklist, and that is just the beginning. And then she slept with her daughter's boyfriends and husbands. We all remember the Deacon Sharp scandal. Hope was conceived while Deacon was married to Bridget, Brooke's own daughter. Just completely bonkers. And then there was the Oliver situation at the party with the masks, where she accidentally slept with Hope's boyfriend because they were all wearing the same clothes. I mean, who writes this stuff? But it is soap gold. And she has cheated countless times with Bill Spencer, with Nick Marone, with basically anyone who looked at her twice when she was feeling vulnerable. So in other words, Brooke is a storyline goldmine. You cannot kill off the golden goose of drama. She generates so much conflict just by walking into a room. But here's the thing that bothers us though, and it is a big thing. She hasn't seemed to change or grow much over the decades. Not at all. She is still making the same exact mistakes. She is still acting on pure impulse. She still thinks she is the moral center of the universe, even though her past is a complete disaster zone. And she still cries that one single tear and expects everyone to forgive her instantly. And that lack of growth is so clear in her current storyline right now, especially with her sister, Katie Logan Spencer, because the sisters are having a massive showdown right now over several things, but mostly over Katie's right to use their family name Logan for her new fashion house. And this whole situation is just peak Brooke. It is vintage Brooke, because Brooke thinks she owns the name. She acts like she single-handedly invented the word Logan and holds the patent on it. But Katie is a Logan too. Stephen Logan is her father too. Storm was her brother. Donna is her sister. The name belongs to Katie just as much as it belongs to Brooke. But Brooke's hysterical defense of her position is just plain stupefying. She is bullheaded, she is wrongheaded, and she refuses to see anyone else's perspective. Katie is just trying to step out of the shadows and make a name for herself in the fashion industry. And Brooke cannot handle it. She cannot stand the idea of Katie having the spotlight or using the family legacy without her permission. And the drama doesn't stop there. Because it is not just about the name, it is about the design. Eric Forrester had promised to help Katie with her new collection. He vowed to give her a new collection for the Logan launch, but then he abandoned her. He just left her hanging. So Katie and Bill Spencer decided to move full speed ahead and use the designs they already acquired from Eric. And Brooke is losing her absolute mind over it. She is calling it theft. She is saying Katie is stealing from Forrester Creations. But Bill is standing his ground. Bill is Katie's biggest power player right now. He is defending Katie's right to use those designs because they were promised to her. He literally told his son Will that you can't steal something that you own. And Bill is right. For once, Bill Spencer is actually making sense. Eric left Katie with nothing after making a promise. So Katie is doing what she has to do to make her business survive, but Brooke and Ridge Forrester are not having it. They are furious. And what do Brooke and Ridge do? Do they handle it like adults? Do they call a meeting? No, they play dirty. The spoilers tell us that Katie and Bill throw this big press conference and fashion preview to officially launch Logan. And it is supposed to be Katie's big moment, her time to shine. And Brooke and Ridge literally barge in and interrupt the festivities with an announcement of their own. They derail the entire event. They sabotage Katie's launch in front of the press and the entire fashion world. And it is just so petty. It is so vindictive. And it perfectly proves the point that Brooke has not grown up. She is still that same jealous, impulsive woman who will destroy her own sister to get her way. She did it with Bill years ago when she stole him from Katie. And now she is doing it with Katie's business. She is sinking to new levels of hostility and leaving Logan's future in complete jeopardy. And she thinks she is totally justified in doing it. That is the crazy part. Brooke always thinks she is the victim or the hero, never the villain. But in this story, she is the villain, and it is ripping the family apart. Even the kids are getting dragged into it because Will Spencer is furious. He works at Forrester Creations, but he is seeing what Brooke and Ridge and Eric are doing to his mom. And Will ends up blasting Katie and Bill over the stolen designs at first, but then he clashes with RJ Forrester. The generational warfare is starting. Will and RJ are facing off in the Forrester office. RJ is dragging Bill's name through the mud, and Will is defending his family. And where is Brooke in all this? She is supporting RJ. She is cheering on RJ's romance with Electra Forrester, even though Electra just broke up with Will. So Brooke is not just fighting Katie in the boardroom. Her son is moving in on the girl that Katie's son loves. It is just a tangled web of Logan and Forrester messiness, and Brooke is right in the middle of it all. stirring the pot, refusing to back down, refusing to compromise. So when we look at all this chaos, all this drama, we have to ask ourselves, what would we do without Brooke and her confounding presence? The show would be a lot duller. It really would. Because as much as she frustrates us, as much as we want to scream at our television screens when she does something hypocritical, she keeps the story moving. She forces other characters to react. If Brooke wasn't sabotaging Katie's press conference, Katie's launch would just be a boring business meeting. But because Brooke is there, it is a soapy, explosive train wreck that we cannot look away from. And that is the magic of Katherine Kelly Lang. She plays this deeply flawed, deeply maddening character with such conviction. She makes you believe that Brooke really thinks she is doing the right thing, even when she is ruining her sister's life. It takes a lot of talent to play a character that does such terrible things, but still maintains a massive fan base, because people do love Brooke. They root for her and Ridge. They root for her to find happiness, even when she is her own worst enemy. And the executives know this. The writers know this. You don't kill off the character that makes the audience feel so strongly. You need that polarization. You need the fans arguing on social media. You need the people who are Team Brooke fighting with the people who are Team Katie or Team Taylor. That is what keeps a soap opera alive for 39 years. The passion of the viewers, and nobody ignites that passion quite like Brooke Logan. So when Katherine Kelly Lang says she doesn't think they will kill her off, I breathe a sigh of relief, because she is right. It would be a monumental mistake. Look at other soaps that have killed off legacy characters for shock value. It almost always backfires. The fans revolt, the ratings drop after the initial shock wears off, and then the writers have to jump through ridiculous hoops to bring the character back from the dead. We have already seen that happen on B&B with Taylor and with Macy and with Sheila. We don't need to see it happen with Brooke. Brooke needs to stay right where she is in the Forrester mansion or in her own house, meddling in everyone's lives, giving unsolicited advice, fighting over men and company names because that is her purpose. She is the chaotic neutral of Los Angeles. She does what she wants, when she wants, and deals with the fallout later. And right now, the fallout is massive, because Katie is not going to just roll over and take this. Katie has been pushed too far this time. Brooke has officially reached her limit with Katie, but Katie has also reached her limit with Brooke. After that public sabotage at the launch, Katie is going to fight back. And with Bill Spencer in her corner, Brooke and Ridge better watch their backs, because Bill does not lose. And he definitely does not let anyone disrespect Katie when he is trying to build something with her. And the fact that Eric is caught in the middle of this makes it even more tragic. Eric loves both of those women. He was married to Brooke. He has a deep connection with Katie, and his designs are the weapon they are using to destroy each other. It is a brilliant storyline, honestly, because it taps into decades of resentment and history. It is not just about a fashion line. It is about Brooke always feeling superior to Katie. It is about Katie always feeling like the forgotten sister, the one who has to beg for scraps while Brooke gets everything handed to her. And Brooke's refusal to let Katie use the Logan name is the ultimate insult. It is Brooke telling Katie that she is not a real Logan, that only Brooke represents the family. It is so arrogant, and it just proves the user's point perfectly. Brooke has not changed. The decades have passed, the hairstyles have changed, the husbands have rotated, but the core of Brooke Logan is exactly the same as it was in 1987. She is selfish. She is driven by her own desires, and she will trample anyone who gets in her way, even her own blood. But we are all for Brooke and her portrayer staying with the show as long as it's on the air, because without the villain, there is no hero. Without the conflict, there is no resolution. And B needs its firestorm. So we will keep watching. We will keep complaining about her lack of growth, We will keep gasping when she ruins Katie's press conference. And we will keep tuning in tomorrow to see what she does next, because that is the power of a true legacy character. You can't live with them, but the show definitely cannot live without them. And Catherine Kelly Lang deserves all the respect in the world for showing up every day for 39 years and bringing this maddening, beautiful, crazy character to life. She is a daytime television icon, and icons don't get killed off. They just get new storylines. And speaking of storylines, we have to wonder where this feud with Katie is going to end up, because it feels like it is escalating past the point of no return. When you mess with someone's livelihood, when you publicly humiliate them in front of the press, that is hard to forgive, even for sisters. And Katie has forgiven Brooke for a lot. She forgave her for sleeping with Bill. She forgave her for so many betrayals, but this feels different. This is business. This is Katie trying to establish her own legacy independent of Forrester Creations, and Brooke is trying to crush it, and Ridge is just blindly following Brooke's lead as usual. Ridge and Bill have their own decades-long feud. So Ridge is more than happy to sabotage anything Bill is involved in. It is just a toxic mix of egos and past hurts. And Will and RJ are getting sucked right into the vortex. RJ is falling for Elektra. Will is hurt and angry. And the parents are too busy fighting over fashion designs to realize they are tearing the next generation apart. So yeah, Brooke is untouchable, but she is also a wrecking ball. And right now she is swinging straight for Katie's new company. And we are going to be sitting here with our popcorn watching every single second of it. Because as frustrating as it is to see a character never learn from her mistakes, it is also incredibly entertaining. And that is what soap operas are all about. Entertainment, escapism, and watching beautiful people do terrible things to each other. So what do you think, B&B fans? Do you agree that Brooke is untouchable? Do you think she will ever actually grow up and change her ways? Or is she destined to be the exact same firestorm for the next 39 years? Let me know, because my brain is fried from thinking about all this Forrester and Logan drama. And I need to know, I am not the only one who gets this worked up over daytime television. It is just wild to think about the sheer volume of scripts John McCook and Catherine Kelly Lang have memorized, the sheer number of tears they have cried on camera. They are the foundation of Forrester Creations and the Logan family. And no matter how many times the writers tease a shocking death,